Do you know how to change the spark plugs in your Gen 2 4-liter? Well, either do I. But here's how I did it. And as you can see, here we go. We've pulled the front end off. Do you need to pull the front end off to your spark plugs? You absolutely do not. But in the maintenance series and the fact that we had to replace the grill, we had this off, and I've always found as I'm doing service on cars, took the radiator out, had to drain the radiator fluid anyway, wanted to check the pulleys, wanted to check the tensioners, wanted to check the belt. We're at about the time for spark plugs, which is 40 some, I think it's 42,000 miles is what Audi says. So here we are. Okay, so we want to get to the coil packs. We already know the front end's off the car. Obviously don't need to do that, but coil packs are going to sit underneath the airbox right here. You got your oil filter. There is a clip. Oil filter's out of the way. The airbox obviously is connected right here in the front. You got two flathead clamps holding on the air intake to the airbox. So you want to loosen these up because we're going to pull the airbox right up in just a second. So loosen these up a little bit. Make sure that's going to come off there. You don't want to cause any problems. Alright. Simple. Pull straight up. Pull straight out. There's your airbox. Alright. Holy crap. Okay. Sit here and take a look. The initial reaction is this looks like a nightmare. So let me soak all this in, try to make sense of it, and check back in. So here we are. The spark plugs are underneath this. So to get underneath this, you're going to have to unplug a lot of wires. I moved. I disconnected the wires from here. You're going to need this off to give you space. Okay, so let's come here. These all seem to be for the cylinder deactivation. Let me show you how this works. Right? These pins are normally pushed in. You pull the pin up, and then see this right here? You push on that. Okay? So if you can look in there, you're looking at this black thing. When I push on that black tab, hold on a second. See it move? Okay? So we're going to pull this tab up, and we're going to push here, and we're going to wiggle and pull. Okay? Take off the rest of it. Same thing here. I'm going to pull this tab up, push, pull. Okay? Normally, I wouldn't take this off, but it's going to be in the way of some of the camera work. So, I'm going to cut it. Apparently, you have enough time to go to the bathroom and call an ex-girlfriend and tell her how sorry you are. Okay. Alright, ready? Alright, so here we go. Alright, okay. So, we're going to pull these off up here. These up here, same thing. Pull the tab up, pull it off. Right here, same thing. Pull the tab up, pull it off. So now what we've done is we've removed these clips. We're going to continue down here. If you want to swing in, I'm going to continue down here. I'm going to pull these clips off. One. This one I already pulled off. I'm going to show you in a second. Okay? And then from there, we're gonna pull off. Can you see it real good? Mm-hmm. The spark plug. These go to the spark plug wires, okay? Now mind you, there's 4 spark plugs. If you can get in there, that's great. Here's the big thing. Make sure I get a light on it. I'm gonna show you. If you want this cage to move, now the reason I have it off is, and you want a magnet, is see this right here? This is a 10 millimeter. See this right here? It's a 10 millimeter. See this right here? It's a 10 millimeter. You want to know where my 10 millimeter nuts are? Down there somewhere. Because when you take them off, if you don't have a magnet, they're going to fall. So you're going to take off these 3. And I have it here so you can see. It's on the stud, okay? It's on the 10 millimeter nut. Is going to be threaded on top of this. Okay? So you're going to pull that off. Then this wiring harness cage, okay, is sitting there. And after you do that, you're going to pull up and you're going to be like, hey, oh my God, it's so close. Why won't it come? Because hidden way back here underneath this is the last one. You're going to have to pull this up, and I don't even know if you can see it, but you pull this up. I can get the camera right in here where my pointer is. Just get a aerial view. Right here where my pointer is, and then zoom out so they can see it. That's where that last one is, okay? So, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 10 millimeter nuts. After you get those nuts, go around, double check that you've unplugged the harness, okay? Again, this tab comes up, we depress there. It's going to then allow you to move the harness a little bit more freely, okay? Okay, so now we're working in here, okay? This one I pulled out because it was the one wire that had the most tension. This isn't going to move a country mile, but it's going to move. And you can see here's the coil pack. You can see there's the coil pack. You can see here's the coil pack. And then here's this last guy hiding. Okay? Don't worry about the fuel line. It's up to you what you want to do. But this rubber kind of grommet stuff is, I don't know, it's a pain. But for the sake of just showing people that you can do it, I'm going to leave it in. So, I've got this out of the way, okay? Nothing special there. These, 1, 2, 3, 4, I took this stud out. That's the one I used for the example. These are 10 millimeters. Okay? Take the stud out. Now, coil pack is loose. We're going to take the next stud out. Get like a nice wide view there. Get this next stud out. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. I really put that one really way back in there. Plenty of room. No, there's not. I'm lying. Alright, got this one out. And then this back one, 10 millimeter. Right? They all unscrew. Of course they unscrew. Alright. Now, once you get all these out, there's not a ton of room to get in here. So this is what I did in each one of them. Needle nose pliers. Hold this out of the way. You're going to replace the coil packs, but even if you're not, get on the corner and then do the wiggle method. break it free from its chemical bond or dirt bond or whatever it has over time. Wiggle it around. That motherfucker's in there. And then it comes out. Okay? One. I'm going to go ahead and continue swearing in new interesting languages. Not a lot of room, but again, needle nose pliers. Wiggle it, work it. Break it. Break it free. Doesn't just fall right out. What I'm going to want you to do is see if you can get your arm under there.
Yeah.
Try to like, let's move some of these. Hold on, let's move these wires down. There you go. Now you go. Can you? There you go. Can you do two of them? Oh, there you go. All right, James Bond. Here, how about this? Let me see if I can. Where's the fucking at? Okay, so we get in here with our needle nose pliers, right? Squeeze. We're gonna work it up. Turn it and pull it out. Okay? Moving to the next one. Now this one right here is pretty difficult because there's not a ton of room. And that one, yeah. So, same thing. Get in here with our needle nose. Okay? And you know you're restricted by the top. So you just pull at a different angle. And then once you've broken it free, obviously, you're going to have to work around the wiring harness. Hold on a second. Can we get that back for you? There you go. Boom. Got this. That one. Now the last one, believe it or not, it looks very... We got a flashlight. Yeah, right here. Okay, ready? It's buried in there pretty good. Let me get it out before I tell you how it went. Super easy. No, it's not. Alright. Got it? Same thing. Not a ton of room. Boom. Comes out at the angle you need to get it out. There's your guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can see down there in the spark plug. So it's up to you. Obviously, removing this rubber membrane is probably going to give you a lot more room. But for the sake of conversation and instruction, I'm just going to leave it until you check in like 2 more frames when I've just said go to hell and pull it out. But for right now, here, let me have you take that over and just keep that sky view. For right now, everything is able to be managed. Oh, that's where that goes. Managed decently well with it in place. Okay, gang, so here we are. We're on the passenger side. Same thing's going to be true. We got to get this wiring harness kind of support out of the way. First thing we're going to do is we got to remove this. Same thing. We get in here, you squeeze on either side, and it bows out. So we're going to get that out of the way. The next thing, because we're going to want to lift this harness out of the way, is we're going to remove the wire that goes to one of the O2 sensors. We're going to remove this PCV setup. Same thing. I don't know if you can see it. Let's get it right in there. Same thing. When you squeeze it, these sides right here are going to bow out. I don't know if it shows up on camera, but you essentially want to squeeze, wiggle, pull. So we're going to move that out of the way, and then we're going to start wanting to remove this clips because this harness comes out. As we showed on the other side, there are going to be four 10mm nuts right here, right here, right here, and right back there. You're going to see that guy. So as we try to remove the harness, we've taken out our 4 10mm, and you can see the harness is kind of bound up. The way we're going to get a lot of movement, we're going to pull our coil packs out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? We're going to take out these supporting, I think, cylinder deactivations. We already showed you how to do that. Up here, up top, we're going to pull this, looks like, I don't know what sensor that is, out. Over here, you can see we've got another wire over here. That's going to be removed. And as we start to pull these out, now, there you go. Now you can see the kind of room. We're getting back some room again here. Probably are going to want to disconnect this because it's getting caught. So what I'm going to do is, because we're going to disconnect that, I think I showed it several times, but let's zoom right in. Let me show you on this right here. I'll show you what we're going to do. Right, zoom in. So, right, let's make sure we got a good light on it for us. Right here. So all of these tabs, and I think I already showed this, all these tabs work the same way. This one's depressed, so we're going to get in here. We're going to pull it up, and then once it's up, push. Give it a little bit of wiggle, and there we go. All of these pretty much work the same. Right, let me get in here to where this one's at. I think I already showed this again, but same thing. These come back, push this, and now we've really made a lot of room in here. Made a lot of room in here to get in here, and now get these coil packs out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are going to be 10mm as well. So we're going to pull the studs out for those 10mm and check right back in. Alright, so we've gotten our studs loosened. We're going to pull them out. 1, 2, 3. Get this back guy back here. 4. Once we have those out, we can pull out our coil packs, which showed on the other side. This rubber material makes getting them a little bit difficult. We're taking needle nose pliers. You can go and remove this and it'll give you a little bit more leverage, but for me, again, the whole point of this video is to try and show you guys how to do it a number of different ways. So kind of try to pre-break that seal, get in there and convince that coil pack to come out. So as opposed to having you watch while I pull these out, I'm going to get the coil packs out here and check back in. Alright, so we've gotten the last coil pack out. Let's take a look. I don't know if you can see that. So there on there, looks like we've got our manufacture date. Obviously, nothing special with the spark plugs. There's always a lot of conversation about aftermarket coil packs, right? These are ECS's to house brand, obviously ECS. Here's my take on it. I went and I measured, and obviously everything's the same. The claim is that these are going to put out more energy. Well, I'm sure you have to have some sort of reason to make that claim, but here's the point. These are a good brand. They've been around for a long time. They work. Competitively priced were these. Supposedly there's a performance difference. Alright, let's get... Okay, so for 42,000 miles, plugs don't look in bad shape. It's a good burn rate, good color. Obviously it's stock, so I did think this was interesting. That appears to be dielectric grease. So I'm going to check the rest of these out, number them, and see if any of the rest of them have that same dielectric grease on them. That'd be interesting to see how many of the other ones have that. So we're pulling out the spark plugs on the driver's side, and let's see. So far the condition has looked relatively decent for the plugs. Same thing. Looks like the same color burn rate. And yeah, looks like some dielectric grease on this as well. Interesting. And then obviously here's the plug design. I'm gonna check these gaps. I'm gonna pull these other plugs and get right back with you. A little talking about gapping. I checked all the gaps on the stock spark plugs, and they were roughly between 26 and 28 thousandths. And I'm one of those nerds that has a spark plug gapping tool, but if you don't, and even if you do, you still want a good tester. I use this, or I came back at about 28 thousandths. I'm inclined to set mine right around the same. So almost all of them, 26 to 28, setting the stock plug back up. Gonna do the same and put them all in. Setting them up and make sure I've got them set on the thickness gauge. And then the other thing I was doing was I noticed on the stock spark plugs they had some dielectric grease. I didn't have any, so what I'm doing is just taking the grease off the stock plug best I can and transferring it over onto mine. And I'm sure everybody at this point knows how to do this part of it, but in the event you don't, get you a good spark plug socket. This is magnetic, 14 point. As you can see, these are not conventional 8-sided plugs. We're going to set it in there, let it seat, carefully run it down, and then spin it in by hand. And then I will list the appropriate Newton meter tightening procedure, but